Hello Libra, and welcome to Embrace the Moon Tarot and your September 2017 tarot reading. And I was sitting here doing a little shuffling before I turned on the recording, and I just got this sense of things have been intense, I'm busy, and I'm in a hurry. And like, you want things to slow down, but you don't even have time to think about it, to even consider how much you want things to slow down. That's just how much busyness there seems to be in general. That's what I'm kind of tapping into. So let's see what sort of message I can get for you as far as what you may expect to vibrate across your path in this month of September. I'm doing a slightly different reading than typical, but it seems to be just as informative as the readings that I have been doing up to this point. So just give us a little more shuffle. Past, present, strength, focus, potential obstacle, potential ending for the month. So let's go ahead and move the potential obstacle out of the way. We'll deal with that later. And I'm going to start in the past. So past, we have the Devil card. So kind of getting an overall sense that this is representing, the term dancing with the devil comes in mind. So it's just kind of going through this process of what comes to mind is tormenting yourself with your own thoughts. Kind of overviewing things that you feel change you right now and keeps you from moving forward. Almost to the point of, there are things that you'd never considered as blocking you or limiting you or chaining you to your life as you know it right now. You're beginning to feel like they are. You're feeling, stuck, I guess, could be a good word, but it seems much more deeper, much more intense than just stuck. Just kind of feel a little not overwhelmed, just heavy with everything that defines your life as you know it, and you feel like you just want to shirk it all. If you could pick up and leave and start a new life somewhere else with a new backstory, you feel like you would choose that right now, because everything that you know right now just feels like it's just chaining you and holding you back and keeping you from feeling like you can pick yourself and carry on. So life feels heavy right now and intense. And I feel that this is kind of an energy that has been a theme for many people, actually. So the energy in general is very heavy, very intense. It really makes you ponder what you consider in your life that is valuable, what you'd like to let go. But I feel like as a whole, there's a lot of things that, for the most part, provides value to your life. But so because it provides value to your life, you feel like you cannot let it go. You feel like you cannot walk away from it. And as a result of it, you feel very chained, very bound, very held down, because you need whatever it is that now feels like it has become a chain. So it can be anywhere from, job really pops into my head very, very heavily. So you have the type of job that provides well for you, provides well for your family, pays the bills. There's no reason to not like this job. So as a result of it, the job feels like it is chaining you to that position to keep that. You don't feel like you could even consider looking for something else, because in most regards, this is a perfect setup. But it's not perfect anymore because it's not feeding your soul. It's actually making you feel very stuck. It's making you feel like you don't have any choices, or not so much that, as much as you're not allowed to make any other choices, because since it's so perfect, what business do you have in considering other things? So things that there's other, and for some, I don't feel that it's job for all of you, but I feel that a good many of you, it is job related in some way. But things in your life that provide security are making you feel that those are binding you, because you feel like you can't look for other options as a result of it, because you're going to shake the status quo. You're going to potentially, you feel like you're going to disrupt your personal security. And as a result of that, then you're going to obviously you're going to feel insecure. And so you feel like you don't have a choice. So that's kind of the energy that you've been faced with recently. And you're wading through that. You're wading through the concept of, am I really stuck? Is it as bad? That's not even the way I want to say that. It's more like, just because it is a perfect scenario, am I really supposed to stay here? So that's the kind of the complication, the contemplations you're kind of working through right now. Just because you have a perfect setup that provides for all your needs and provides security and feeling like all is well, does that mean you don't have a right to change? Does that mean you don't have a right to choose something different? Does that mean you're not allowed to begin to feel stagnant and decide you want to flow in another direction? You're wading through these questions because there's quite a bit that provides security, that even though it provides security, it's not fulfilling anymore. And you want to know if you're allowed to break those chains, if you're allowed to break free of that and search for something else. So this is what you're wading through. This is something that has happened recently, and it has actually brought you to your current status, your current energy. And the current energy is working through these emotions. Queen of Cups. You are really giving some consideration. You are filtering through all of the emotions that it's bringing up regarding security versus soul fulfillment. Feeling happy. Whether or not you're allowed to be happy. And when you get to this point of feeling dissatisfied, even though you're secure, but if you feel dissatisfied, are you allowed to ponder and question and move so that you can be both secure, into a position of being both secure and satisfied? Can you move from one position of security and find a new position of security that will provide you both security and satisfaction, since the place that you're at is no longer providing both of those? And so you're filtering through the emotions, and it's bringing up some emotions, and you're beginning to nurture the part of yourself that seeks fulfillment beyond security, and trying to wade through if it's possible to be both fulfilled and secure. And there's a part of you that already knows yes, because at one point, what created the security that you currently have and are deciding whether or not you want to move away from did supply you with both security and fulfillment. But then that creates its own baggage of emotion, because now you're faced with, if this is possible, what will it take, and can I do it? So there's just this overwhelming amount of contemplation, consideration, emotions that's coming along with the process of filtering through all of this. And you're really trying to tap into not just the emotional aspect and trying to wade through the emotional aspect of it, but also trying to tap into what you feel is going to be a perfect fit if you do move. If you do make change, if you do make these shifts, what can provide the perfect fit so that you feel satisfied and secure? And you feel like you can find these answers within yourself. But you realize that you have to filter through all of this to get to that point. And some of you are just beginning. Some of you are at a point where you're seeing that it's not just the emotional aspect. You're trying to tap into that deeper part of yourself that can give you those answers of what you really want. And you're beginning to get to the point where you're open to the concept that you might even find a way to create satisfaction in the position that you already are. Because there's a number of you who are of this sign who are watching this. Some of you, you're not all going to take the same path. So some of you are going to find that you can discover how to make this not feel like chains, but actually feel the satisfaction and security that you want is. And some of you are going to feel like you need to make some changes in a different direction, shifts into a different direction. But you have to sift through the emotions, deal with those as they come, wade through them as they come up to you, and then get to that point where you're able to get past just the emotional response and be able to connect to that inner part of yourself that knows what you truly desire, what your soul desires from right now, what it is that will make you feel less chained, less cumbersome, less weighed down, less stuck. So that's the current energy. That's what you're kind of dealing with at this present time. And like I said, some of you are just beginning and you're just sifting through the emotions. Some of you have gotten to the point where you have sifted through a great bit of the emotions and you're starting to tap into having that conversation with your higher self. So your strength for the month is the the Emperor. I was just kind of looking down and I saw that your focus is the Four of Wands. So we have a theme of 4 here. So stability is definitely something that you're going to be focusing on as you're sifting through this. And I feel that for some reason, stability is a theme for you anyhow. That's why you feel chained. That's why you feel stuck, because you're afraid of not being stable. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. So the strength for the month is tapping into knowing what it truly is that makes you feel secure. So we have those external things that we are ingrained with knowing makes us secure. But then we have those elements that we have gained through life experience that we know define our personal concepts of security that help us to become king or emperor of our external world, our own personal external world, not the world at large, but our own personal world. And that's the strength for the month is going to be tapping into that, knowing that you have to search for your own truths regarding personal security, truths that go beyond with what we're ingrained from childhood, from our parents and our grandparents and society at large that tell us, okay, these things make a secure, happy household. Yes, they may, but you have your own personal definitions too, and some of them might not completely match what has been ingrained, and some of them might match but go beyond what we've been ingrained with. But it's your own personal truth of what creates your own personal security, and that's your focus, tapping into what it is that allows you to be in charge and to be able to feel grounded and secure on a very personal level. You make that definition and then you get to live it out. That was the simplest way of putting it, I guess. You make the definition of what makes you secure, and then you get to live that out. You get to instruct yourself onto how to manifest it and create this kingdom, your own personal kingdom that you can abide in and feel happy and roll over, so that you feel in control, the kind of control that creates stability that makes you feel happy and satisfied. Your focus is Four of Wands. Again, 4 has that theme of security, but this is celebration in a sense. And this, I feel, is letting you know that your focus is to focus on things that let you celebrate internally and externally, if you feel so that you want to, but things that you know that that happiness within that makes you feel happy, makes you feel light, makes you feel less weighed down and cumbersome. Focus on those things that make you feel that you can celebrate life and you can be excited and that you want to share with other people. That you want to continue, that you want to feed. That's your focus for the month. And focusing on those little things that allow you to celebrate your personal security. That's how you're going to tap in even more so into that, being able to find out your personal truth as what to create your personal security, defines your personal concept of security. So focus on things that truly make you happy, truly make you feel fulfilled, things that truly make you feel not bonded or chained or cumbersome. The more you find your ability to focus on things that you can celebrate, the more you'll have a better understanding of what it is that you truly desire and what it is that's making you feel chained down. It's not always about defining what the chains are and then cutting loose of them. Sometimes we just need to be able to define them, and then we can understand them, and then we know what we need to do with them. Obviously, you know, you're going to work on finding if you need to unlink the chains, but you might find that the chains were never linked at all. You just thought that they were. That's what I was getting to. I lost my train of thought in the middle of that. So sometimes it's sitting down and defining that so that you can find out if the things that you've decided are chaining you and are weighing you down. You may find out that they're not. It's something else, but it's kind of deflected in this one area. So just kind of working through that. And the way you work through that is by celebrating those things in life that do make you feel happy, and make you feel more fulfilled, and you're able to define, like I said, the parameters of your own security, and then the chains, and maybe even recognize things that aren't chains after all. Obstacle for the month is Queen of Swords, and there's going to be intense moments of really hashing out intellectually. There's going to be a battle between your emotional aspect and your intellectual aspect, the logical side of yourself. And so the obstacle becomes sometimes when we allow logic to overrun, we overanalyze things, we overthink things, we over-intellectualize things. And we cut out the emotion, we cut out the inner part of ourselves because, well, you know, this is just reasonable. This is just logical. So obviously this is the correct answer. And so then you can get to the point where then you fail to, you kind of cut off the emotional aspect. Well, this is logical, but I'm not happy with this decision. So this is going to be kind of the battleground. You know, the two queens are going to be kind of battling each other. The emotional side of yourself and how you feel about the answers you're going to be self-discovering. Then the other side of your brain, the logical, the reasoning side, is going to be critiquing it and be like, yes, but reason states, the logistics are. This is just going to be the little bit of a battleground that's going to be going on in your head. So you just need to be mindful if you start to feel like you're getting in your head and you're starting to overanalyze and you're getting mental fatigue and mental exhaustion as you go over some of these things. Remember this reading and kind of go back to, all right, but let's tap into that deeper emotional side. How can I nurture my thoughts so that I'm not just all cold logic and cold reason. What's the emotional, logical side of this? How can I apply emotion within the logic so that I can have a happy medium? I can find what it is that I'm searching for and come out of this with my own personal definition of security that's both secure and fulfilling emotionally. Potential ending for the month: shift, changes, big changes that you make. Often the Tower card is usually states changes that we aren't in control of, but I feel in this regard you are going to be making and creating some changes. You're going to answer some questions you've been asking of yourselves, and in the process of answering these questions, you're going to create the desire to make some shifts, to move in a direction one way or the other that feeds your definition of security. So I don't feel that this is a bad Tower. I feel that it's potential for good. It's knowing and having an understanding of where you want to go from here, and knowing that it's going to create some shifts that might seem unsettling, but when we're that focused on, all right, this is what I've decided, this is where I want to go, I've made up my mind, we don't feel nearly as unsettled, or we feel we are capable of handling that shift that's occurring, the shakes that are occurring, because we had a heads up. And more so than that, we're actually in control of the shifts. I really do believe this is shifts that you yourself will be making. Some of it will be internally, few of you it'll be externally, but I feel the bulk of you, it's going to be internal. You're going to be making some large internal shifts. And this seems to be the theme in general, I feel, across the board for many, many people. And it's just, I think it's the times. It's just the overall energy. And so, yeah, I feel predominantly internal. We're just going to be making some huge shifts internally. So let's pull a card to summarize with a little bit of something to carry you through as you continue through the month of September. Something for you to maybe focus on, a mantra. Let's see what we can pull up for you. The sacred flow of yes. This is what fell out, and I was contemplating if it was a sloppy shuffle or not, and I don't feel that it is. It is your message, the sacred flow of yes, and I feel that this is letting you know to say yes to yourself. When you discover those answers that are true to you, not just what you've been ingrained with, but the answers that you have discovered within yourself, it's okay to say yes to yourself. And in so doing, I think that's where some of those shifts are going to come from, because you're finally going to say yes to yourself in ways that you've not before. You're going to allow yourself to focus on yourself. Give yourself permission to make changes and do things for you personally, not so much for you in regards to your external universe, but you personally deep within yourself. So the sacred flow of yes, there's magic in saying yes to yourself, and I feel that you're going to feel that. You're going to, the more frequently you tap into and you rely on that strength of finding out your own personal truth as far as what makes you feel secure, and the more you find time to figure out what it is that makes you celebrate deep within, these are going to feed each other. And the more they feed each other, the more frequently you're going to say yes to yourself as far as what it is that you want. And the more you say yes to yourself, the more that's going to flow easy. And the easier that flows, the closer you are going to be to creating that shift, that internal shift, moving in a direction that does indeed make you feel less chained and more secure and more willing to celebrate, and finding that ability to get the two queens to finally work together so that you can have what you desire. So sacred flow of yes. All right, that is all I have for you for this month. I hope you have a wonderful September. Make it a great one, and hopefully I will see you next month.